Okay, so if you're a developer or a translator, you've definitely come across the XLF file. And on the surface, translating one seems simple enough, right? But here's the thing. It's a total minefield. One wrong move, and bam, you've got a corrupted file, a broken app, and a project that's suddenly off the rails. Today, we're going to walk you through that minefield nice and safe.
Oh, you know that feeling. It's that sinking pit in your stomach. You get the translated files back, you run the import, you build the app, and the UI is just a complete disaster. You've got broken strings, raw code everywhere. It happens all the time. And you know what? It almost always comes down to one single critical mistake in how that translation was handled.
And this, right here, is the #1 culprit. Just sending an XLF file to a regular old online translator, well, it's kind of like putting a delicate circuit board through a dishwasher. It has no idea what that structure is, so it just scrambles the very code that makes the whole thing work.
All right, let's really get into this, because the danger we're talking about isn't just about a simple typo. It's about preserving the actual structural integrity of your app's text.
And see, that last part is the real nightmare. A failed import, that's obvious, you can fix it. But a silent failure, where text just vanishes, that could slip right past QA and get out to your users before anyone even has a clue. The stakes here are genuinely high. So to avoid all this pain, we've got to understand what an XLIF file really is. Because trust me, it is so much more than just a list of words to translate. I absolutely love this description, the handshake format. That's perfect. Think of it like a universal shipping container for your app's text. It's specifically designed to be passed around, from your code editor to a translator's professional software, and then all the way back again, all while keeping everything perfectly organized and intact. So the next time you see this file type, don't just think text document. Think of it as a specialized, intelligent container. It's not just carrying words, it's carrying the instructions that tell your app exactly where those words need to go. Okay, let's peek under the hood for a sec. This is the basic DNA of an XLIFF file. Every little piece of text is wrapped up in what's called a trans unit, and it has a unique ID. Think of it as a street address for that specific string. Inside that, you've got the source text. That's what you're translating. And then an empty target element. That's where the new translation is supposed to go. Simple enough, right? But wait, it's not just about the source and target. The file is also peppered with these super important structural tags. These are not words for translation, they are code. They represent placeholders for dynamic stuff like a user's name or a link or maybe even just some bold formatting. If any of these get tweaked or deleted by accident, the app breaks, period. And you know, this isn't some obscure niche format we're talking about. It is the gold standard for huge platforms like Apple's Xcode and Google's Angular. It's what professional translators use in their fancy CAT tools, and it's even used in things like e-learning course design. Getting this right is a big deal across the entire tech world. So the big question, how do we actually get one of these files translated without causing a total disaster? Well, it turns out there are pretty much 3 main paths you can take. This table here just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the direct path, which is using tools built specifically to understand XLIFF. That's your low-risk option. Then there's the heavy-duty path with big, complex professional software. Also low risk, but way more complicated. And then you have the dangerous path, just copying and pasting into a general AI tool. That one is extremely high risk. So for most of us who need a quick, reliable translation, that direct format safe solution is absolutely the way to go. Let's take a look at just how simple it can be. I mean, look at this. The process is so straightforward. A tool that's built for XLIFF, what we call format aware, it gets it. It understands the structure. It only touches the text inside the source tags, it puts the translation neatly into the target tags, and it automatically protects and preserves every single one of those critical structural tags. No fuss, no breakage. Okay, but no matter what tool you use, you are not done the second you hit download. Before you even think about importing that file back into your project, you absolutely need to run through a quick but vital checklist. First up, just do a quick tag count. Does every placeholder tag in the source have a perfect match in the target? Easy. Second, double-check that the transunit IDs haven't been touched. And third, the classic localization trap. Check the length. A language like German can easily be 30 or 40% longer than English. You gotta make sure it's not gonna overflow and wreck your UI. And this right here, this is exactly why that checklist is completely non-negotiable. If even one of those little placeholder tags goes missing, your user isn't going to see their name in that friendly greeting. No, they're going to see ugly raw code. It shatters the user experience and just makes your app look incredibly amateur. So, the next time you export a file for localization, just remember the big lesson here. You're not just translating words, you are preserving the structural language of your entire application. Get that part right, and you can open your app up to the whole world without breaking a single thing. Thanks for tuning in.